Kidnapped, walking the scene with you in no flicks from the 90s. So keen, the VHS Club, they're the talk of the town. Breaking it down, spreading nostalgia all around. Moving and grooving to the synth-pop sound. Their insights so fresh, painting pictures profound. From Pulp Fiction to Clueless, they know it all. The genuine love for movies stands tall. Unfolding memories on that VHS screen, talking about classics like you've never seen. Katie with her charm, Matt with that wit. Together they make the VHS Club legit.
Can't or ever get me sleep around here? What's all the racket? What's up? Chuck! I was only kidding. Gruesome, ain't it? Of course you know this means war. Air Jordan and Air Jordan.
What'd you expect? Elmer Fudd?
Nice shot.
Nice shot.
This floors them every time. Yoo-hoos! Nice shorts. This could be the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
That's all, folks.
Well, that's my line.
Welcome back to another episode of the VHS Club. We're talking Space Jam tonight. Hey, Nat, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. This was a fun one. Totally silly.
Yeah.
Not a good movie, but really fun. Really fun to watch. Really
It
fun.
definitely made me really miss that golden era of like the NBA of basketball when
Yeah.
everybody was obsessed with basketball.
Yeah.
I'm like, Muggsy was my favorite player of all time, still is. I had Charlotte Hornets like hat, the shirt, the jacket that I wore with my denim overalls. I'm like, did I even watch basketball or
Wait,
did
I
I
gotta-
just play?
I gotta put this up, and if you're
Yes.
listening, you can't see this, but we've been joking even before we jumped on air tonight that if you didn't have a specific team in the '90s, you were immediately a Charlotte Hornets fan. No one
Yeah,
knows why,
but
but
they-
that's just the way it is, and it's so.
Well, I
it's
mean,
so true to us. It really is.
They were definitely the best team in history for a while.
I want
there
the
was
jacket.
just
I
this
want this
magic.
specific jacket. This jacket. I want this jacket. Like
Yeah.
now, adult Katie
I
would like to have
had
this.
I had a jacket that cut, but not, it was pink and white. It
okay.
wasn't an actual
Oh.
Hornets jacket.
Not
but
a legit
yeah.
Hornets jacket. They were the team that we play. At least I, maybe not you, Nat, but I played as the Hornets every single time I played NBA Jam. And
Yeah.
we've been talking a lot in the last few episodes about like wanting to have more sound effects for this show. All I want is like downtown. From downtown. Yeah, I could sit and play NBA Jam. We should play NBA Jam while talking about this episode.
I do
while
have a
talking about
Sega
this
Genesis
episode.
like right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, Jake is saying, come on and slam and welcome to the jam. Yeah, and Josh is saying that he saw that
Yeah.
jacket everywhere when he was a kid. Yeah, absolutely. It was
Oh yeah, yeah,
it was the thing. Well, before we jump too into it, this is a very deep plot, everyone. So Nat, break it down for us.
yeah. I I mean, there was a plot. Okay,
All right.
I'm kidding.
Do
I'm
I
kidding.
need to
Okay,
take it?
so,
Okay.
no. Okay, so this villainous alien amusement park owner
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
wants to bring in some fresh talent to draw in a bigger crowd to his amusement park in space.
Yep.
So he decides to send his little minion aliens to go and retrieve the Looney Tunes because they are real.
And fun and would drive attractions.
Yes, to increase attractions to this alien space amusement park. And the Looney Tunes, of course, full of hijinks to get out of being kidnapped
Kidnapped. Yeah.
to work unpaid labor at this space amusement park. They Bugs decides to have a basketball game against these tiny little aliens who
Mhm.
then steal the talent. I was going to say superpowers, but yes, basically
Let's just call them superpowers because that's the
superpowers
premise of this movie. They steal the superpowers from the basketball
of
players.
several famous basketball players,
Mhm.
including Muggsy Bones and Barkley and Ewan and Sean. What was his last name again?
I'm
I
so
can't
glad you're
remember.
here. I don't know any of these people's names. I'm like, I know
Larry
Charles Barkley.
Johnson.
And I know Michael Jordan. Those are the two.
Yeah.
Those are the two that I know.
So they steal their superpowers slash talent and then turn into like roided out demon aliens.
Giant, super
That was
tall.
actually a
Yeah.
little scary, that scene.
Mhm, mhm.
And then the Looney Tunes realize they need help because none of them have ever actually played basketball before. So they ask. They don't actually ask. They kidnap Michael Jordan to help them. But that's okay because his baseball career was not going great.
This was me
and
trying to
and
explain
everybody
it.
has fun.
This was me trying to explain it to my 10-year-old while I somehow managed to convince her to watch this with me, but halfway through, and I'm like, would you like me to pause it and explain what this movie is about? And she sort of rolled her eyes at me, and I was like, allow me to do this for you. So I paused it and I explained that there were, exactly as you said, there was like an alien amusement park and the aliens have come down, they're going to play this game, and the Looney Tunes have kidnapped Michael Jordan, and that's where we are now. And then I had a moment of like,
Yeah.
do you know who Michael Jordan is? And she was like, yes, like, you're an idiot. Like, of
I
course I
love
know who
that
Michael Jordan is. And then she was like,
Gen
but I
Z
don't
still
know
knows
who
that.
the Looney Tunes are. And I was like, you don't know who Bugs Bunny is? She's like, oh no, I know who Bugs Bunny is. I was like, well, he's a Looney Tune. And she was like, does that mean the Looney Tunes are the bad guys in this movie? I was like, no, the Looney Tunes are never the bad guys. And she's like, but you just
I
said that
mean,
they kidnapped Michael
they-
Jordan. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, yes, but not really, because he seems okay with it. And she was like not having it. I had a lot of questions about like, wait a minute, but it seems like they're
Right.
the bad guys.
I mean, they do what they do to Michael Jordan, what they're trying to prevent being done to them. But I mean, they don't want to keep him forever and have him enslaved. They just
It's
need
like
help
not
winning
really
this basketball.
kidnapping. It's like it's forced.
We're borrowing
help.
you.
We're borrowing. Oh my
I-
gosh,
And so I love. Oh, and Bill Murray's in it.
Bill Murray
And
is in it.
Newman from Seinfeld,
Mm,
who's
yeah.
named Stanley in this, but it's just like he's only ever Newman.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like both Bill Murray's character and Bill Murray's actually just playing himself.
Yeah.
So he is, as always, just Bill Murray, and Newman is just always Newman.
I know, and I
It's-
think his name is Wayne, but I couldn't even tell you that for sure
Yeah.
because he's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
always Newman. And that's how we roll on this show. Because we're old, we forget everyone's names.
But I
why
mean,
it's a
even
show.
the way he's acting, he's just acting like a nicer, more people-pleasing Newman, but no less intrusive or annoying,
Yeah, and it's funny because
right?
his character
It's
is
still just
supposed to
Newman.
be he's supposed to be like he's supposed to be a publicist for Michael Jordan like as a baseball player. And I had a
Yeah.
lot of questions about this because I
That
was
was real
like
life, by the way.
he-
Just for any of our viewers, so Michael Jordan abruptly retired from
mhm,
basketball
mhm,
in, was it 93, 94 season, at the end of the 93, 94 season,
couldn't tell you.
to go play
Yep,
baseball
sure did.
for real,
For real. Yep.
but then went back
Yeah,
to
realized that that was
play
a bad move and went back to playing
basketball.
basketball.
So basically, like, I now rewatching this movie feel like this movie was basically solely made to try and get the public back on Michael Jordan's side, because it went down like an anvil.
Not the
Like
movie, but
Wile E.
Michael
Coyote
Jordan.
with an anvil.
Yeah, it was the
Yeah,
Michael
no, the
Jordan
movie
changing. Yeah.
movie was made tons of money and was super popular.
Mhm.
But Michael Jordan in real life quitting the Chicago Bulls to go and play baseball went over like a lead balloon or an anvil.
I like an
Um,
anvil. That's a good
yeah, an
That's a good one.
anvil held by Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah.
And I feel like this movie was kind of made just to win people back over and to repopularize the Looney
Mhm.
Tunes
It
and
really
marketing.
was. It really was. It was entirely marketing. We played at the beginning of the episode before we jumped on. This movie was what entirely the result of a popular series of Nike commercials. So we played
Yeah.
one of them before we jumped on. That had Bugs Bunny and Michael Jordan together, and they were like funny, silly, kind of ridiculousness. And
Those
they were
commercials were
literally
wildly popular,
wildly
as were
popular.
Air Jordans.
They were literally only created because someone somewhere was like, "Oh, we should like reinvent and bring back and reintroduce the Looney Tunes to this new generation
Yeah.
of kids." And this would be a really fun way to do it in these commercials. And they were like, "Hey, these commercials are actually really popular. People really like this." And then, as you said, everything was happening with Michael
Let's make a
Jordan, and they were
movie.
like, "Why not?" And what I love, what I will say I love about this movie is that even though it has, as you said, very little plot, and
Yeah.
it's like everything about it is not good. Like if you were like pitching this today, people would be like, "What? No, that's not a
I mean,
thing."
the acting isn't really great. I
Yeah.
mean, it's passable. I mean, it's a kids movie, let's be honest.
It's totally a kids
Um,
movie, but Michael Jordan is like we were
he's
sort of
very endearing.
we were talking about this beforehand, but like he does a pretty good job. Like I was trying to think of another like sports icon that could come anywhere close to doing as well with this. Like he's likable.
Yeah.
He does better than many actors out there. Like he's definitely not like an award-winning actor, but
No.
given that like he was at literally the kind of like the prime of his career, it is pretty impressive. Like I can't imagine like a Tiger Woods at the time being in a movie, or like I'm trying to think of like other like big name sports celebrities that could pull off an acting role like this. And like it
Yeah.
wasn't a cameo. It wasn't like he was doing like a
He was
cameo appearance.
basically
He
the
was alone
only
in the
human
majority-
being in the movie.
they actually had because it was admittedly difficult because they did so this movie was again like renowned actually at the time for the visual graphics and the elements in it because it
Mhm.
blends together cartoons and real life, and so that wasn't easy at the time, and certainly way harder than it is now. And so it was almost entirely green screened, and so you can imagine
Yeah.
like he was like the only human like surrounded by green screen, and so they ended up hiring actors to crawl on the ground so that they were like Looney Tune character level and height around him, and wear like all green so that he would have like someone to look at. And it made a huge difference in his
Yeah.
like in his portrayal of the role and in his acting. And you can see why. Like 'cause you'd be like,
Yeah.
it would be such a hard thing even for a great actor to act. Like you're like, you want me to do what? Like you have to be funny, you have to be likable, you have to be a foil to all these other like funnier characters than you, and you're by yourself. Like you're just in like an empty
Yeah.
green room, like with people being like, laugh, now shoot the ball, now look over at where Bugs is. Now, like it would be so bizarre. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Props to him. The fact that he was willing to put
Oh,
himself
yeah.
out there like this and be kind of
Well, I think they
jokingly
made a
used
little bit
in
of
this way.
money.
Yeah, he made a ton of money, but it's still like a really good marketing decision, like to do that. I don't
Yeah.
know. There's not very many people out there who are willing to kind of make fun of their own lives, particularly celebrities. Like I don't know. This is the
William
headspace I'm in right
Shatner
now.
comes to
Well, I was gonna say
mind.
William Shatner comes to mind.
Yeah.
I just finished
Good
watching
old
the
Bill,
Martha
but
documentary. She actually did this like later in
yeah.
life and really was able to pivot. Great. Please go watch that. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
But she's another good example of someone who is willing to make fun of herself, and it made all the difference in her
Yeah, it's not
career.
often that you have somebody who's so renowned and so iconic be the butt of the joke, like
Hmm.
themselves, like they're in on the joke,
Hmm.
and it was a nice movie. It was cute. Um, it wasn't great,
It's not. It
but it
has
was
no plot.
fun.
Like I kept
No.
thinking that it was. I kept thinking that it was like longer and bigger than it was. Like in my childhood brain had imagined that there was like other
More of a
scenes that
plot.
did not exist. Like I was like, oh, it like actually just ends at the basketball game ending. Like in my mind, there was like
Yeah.
a whole follow up, and there was not. So it
Even
really is just
I
a basketball game. Like it.
I was disappointed with the basketball game. It wasn't like that. Like it wasn't good basketball, if that makes sense. Not that Katie's like, I don't know anything about basketball.
Uh,
But like it could have been a little cooler, like more interaction with, I guess, the players, the Looney Tunes.
yeah.
But um, I wish there was a little more Marvin the Martian.
I know. Me too. I was
I
kind of
did like that the girl, like Lola Bunny,
yeah.
was basically the only good player on the team, other
Yeah.
than obviously Michael Jordan. Um,
Yeah,
and
she was fantastic. And I
yeah,
have to
I
say
liked
like
having a strong female character as a kid like that. Like everybody was like, she's so cool, like.
she
Though
was
they
the
did make her a bit of
first
a sex pot, which was weird because it's a
they
cartoon
they
bunny.
did. I mean, it's very it's in the same vein as like
Male
Who
point of
Framed
view.
Roger Rabbit and all these where they're like
Well,
these
that's not
like
for children.
no, I know, but it is in the same vein of like these kind
Yeah.
of sexy female cartoon characters kind of that's
Hmm.
one that sort of comes to mind in that world. And Paul's pointing out, which is
Yeah.
totally valid, like keep in mind Looney Tunes has been around since the 30s, so like this is a
Yeah.
property that's been around for a while. It certainly has all kinds of problematic moments. But Josh is also pointing out
Yeah.
that like this is also a show that had a huge boost in popularity in the 90s. Like there was the
Yes.
Bugs Bunny and Tweety show, there was Tasmania and the Tiny Toon Adventures. Like all of these were on TV. So it's not like it is kind of interesting because in my mind I was kind of drawing comparisons between Looney Tunes and the Muppets, and both of these were
Mm.
like popular, had TV shows, but then also had these like movies that were with
Movies.
famous
Yeah.
actors. And there's not like some of them worked well and some of them didn't work so well. And it's funny that this one, for whatever reason, has like some level of magic to it that it has held up all the way through. Like it has a cult following. It recently had a sequel. Like it has kind of
Yeah.
continued to be really popular given how like kind of silly and like I don't know, weak in some ways it is. Like it's not
Nonsensical.
it is nonsensical, but there is a purity about the Looney Tunes. I know I just said that it's really problematic
Yeah.
and it has problematic
Well,
moments, but
yeah,
there is like a
historically.
there is like a slapsticky, like funny at every level with the Looney Tunes. Like they're funny watching them as an adult. They were funny watching them as a kid. Like they are nonsensical and ridiculous and
Yeah.
over the top. And that part of it I think is really fun about this movie.
I did really love the line. Like my favorite line in the whole movie was when Foghorn Leghorn, who's the big rooster character, in case people didn't know.
Yeah.
Um when the aliens turn into their supersized Monstars,
Monstars.
basketball players, they're like, "What are you, chicken?" And he's like, "Hey, I resemble that remark." I like I laughed really hard. Like, it was so funny and so stupid, but it had that charm of the Looney Tunes. Like, I find that
Yeah.
remark, like that line, that joke, like really encapsulates the Looney Tunes and just the silliness of it. And it's like simple humor, but also very like witty, you know? Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
and
know,
I think
it was very cute.
it carried across to like to even the non-Looney Tune characters. Like we were talking about how the the other basketball players once they've lost their powers, I'm gonna hold to that. Their
Yeah.
superpowers. Once they've lost their superpowers, they go in and see like all these different doctors, and they're trying to figure out like what to do. And the whole world is like, oh my goodness, we don't have basketball anymore. We're like, what do we do?
Like basketball, the
Basketball's
NBA is
over. Yeah. The
closed.
NBA is closed. We don't, which I feel like is a legitimate reaction. Like, no, we're all done here. We're not playing anymore. But
Well,
these players are trying to figure out what to do, and like even their reactions to all of it are, we were talking about how like there it's layered in that like adults would get it because there are a lot of like lines that are culturally and like timely relevant for adults. Like they are like cultural moments. Like they joke about, Barkley is saying like, I'll never go on another date with Madonna, like, which would be like funny for adults and parents at that time, but
yeah.
not offensive or like or any kind of anything for kids watching. Like the kids it would just be a funny moment, but not as funny as it would be for the parents.
Yeah, they're
Whereas
like, what's dating?
exactly. Whereas like I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of the movies that are newer than this have kind of I don't know, I feel like push the limit with that sometimes where the jokes are like, have like a really strong like sexual innuendo or things like that where like
Yeah.
my kids are smart enough that they pick that up and have even at a very young age. So I've always
Yeah.
had a kind of a hard time watching some of those films
It's
with
like
my kids, but this
you
one
had
was
mentioned
pretty
off
easy.
screen, Katie, you had mentioned like a movie that was not successful both for kids and adults like this for the jokes is Shrek. And
People
like I'll
love
never
Shrek though. I feel like people are gonna
I
fight me on that.
know.
I don't, but I'm like, and I love Michael Myers, but
So
I don't like Shrek, and I feel like I'm the
yeah,
only one out there.
I don't know if I like it or not because I had a really bad experience seeing it. I brought a bunch of kids I was babysitting. Like it was a whole group of kids that I
Yeah.
was babysitting, like 5 or 6 kids,
Mm-hmm.
maybe more. Anyways, I can't. It was all the little kids from my cottage. Like,
Mm-hmm.
anyways, we all went in to see this, and so whatever. The movie was cute. The kids really loved it, and I was just like, I don't know. These jokes are super inappropriate for the kids, but whatever. They all thought it was funny. I don't think they got it. I'm good. And I was kind of shocked because I'm like babysitting, like they're like 7, 8 years old, and I was just like, these are really, really inappropriate. I was uncomfortable
Yep.
as a caregiver, like for children, having them seen this movie under my watch, and I was like, I fucked up.
Yeah, seriously.
And
That's
then
yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, the kids didn't get it. But then, boy, oh boy, did every single parent get back to me. It's like, why is my kid saying this? Because the
Yeah,
kids were quoting jokes from the movie.
because
And
kids
I
know
was
what
in
parts
deep
are
shit.
funny. Yeah, exactly. They know what parts are funny
Well,
and
they
where
know when the
everyone
whole
laughed.
theater laughed.
Exactly. So those are the lines that they memorize. So I
Oh,
all that
man.
to say that like I think that this movie actually
Shrek is
does a
probably fine, but not for kids.
Doc is saying that he loves Shrek and he's feeling really judged. Yeah, so we are alone in our feelings on
It was
this.
a
I appreciate
bad,
that,
no,
but
it was a very awkward circumstance. Whereas if I had brought the kids to see Space Jam, I would not have had that
no,
I got in deep shit from a whole bunch of adults
yeah, because
like
they're
scenario.
I mean, Looney Tunes and Muppets actually is another great example of this.
Yeah.
The humor for kids is slapsticky and nonsensical and crazy, whereas the humor for adults is very sarcastic and tongue-in-cheek and witty. And so
Yeah,
I
like
feel
subtle wit.
it's
Yeah.
very subtle wit. And so I think it's certainly appealing to a certain kind of adult. So maybe part of it is just that I have a dark, sarcastic sense of humor, so I appreciate it more. But I think I personally just like that better as an adult watching these movies with kids
Yeah.
versus some of the other movies where it's just a lot more sexual innuendo. If you're watching those movies as an adult, have it like watching it Shrek as an
Yeah.
adult by myself. I find it funny. It's just I'm
If I
like
had
so
gone to see
shocked from that
Shrek,
moment watching it with kids
right?
that I'm
If I had
trauma.
gone to see Shrek with like you and our friends, would have been a totally
Would have been
different
totally fine.
experience
Exactly.
than
Exactly.
getting in shit from like a whole bunch of adults because their kids are repeating sex jokes to them.
Yeah.
Like, ah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, all that to say is Space Jam is a lot more wholesome.
Space Jam
We
is
got
definitely
to
more awesome.
see like kids were reintroduced to like the favorite characters, like there's Tasmanian Devil
Yeah.
and Porky Pig and Tweety Bird and Sylvester got put in his place a few times for wanting to attack Tweety Bird.
Yeah.
Marvin the Martian. He didn't have a big part. I thought he had more of a part in this, and then when I
I
was
did
rewatching it, I
too.
was
I
like,
thought he was
"Where's
on the
all the
team.
Marvin bits?" He was randomly in some like one or two scenes with the team, but it was like,
Yeah.
doesn't he doesn't he shoot his laser gun at not? I didn't mean to say the G word. I'm like, are we gonna get in trouble for saying that? Like, mind you, I
He
did
shut
just
his
say fuck,
shut his
but
laser. Yeah, shut his laser
yeah.
out. I mean,
Um,
Yosemite Sam is in this, which he definitely
yeah.
is not in other
Well,
movies.
he does get zapped by a laser and loses not just all of his like he gets turned into a little crispy critter, which is kind of funny.
Mm. Scarlett kept saying to me, "Isn't that a foul? Isn't that a basketball?" So she was with you on the like, wait a second, this is not
They're
how
not following the
basketball works.
rules.
They're not following the rules here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of those moments. Yeah, no, I did. I really enjoyed seeing all of the Looney Tune characters, and it makes. I wish that Looney Tunes were easier to rewatch now. Like it's actually pretty
Yes.
hard to find Looney
Like
Tunes
not
like on any kind of streaming service or to just be able
well,
to watch them. Yeah,
because
Marvin
the
was the
current
referee. Thanks, Jake. Yeah, that's absolutely. He was the
oh,
referee in
okay,
the
that's what
game.
it was.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, because Looney Tunes has been around since the 1930s,
Hmm.
um, pop culture has changed quite a
Yeah,
lot.
it's definitely
We
problematic. It's got some really bad
Yeah,
characters in
I'm
it.
basically just gonna say like
Yeah,
a ton of it is super violent,
super violent, super
rather
racist.
racist,
Yeah,
sexist. It has all the ists in it.
yeah,
Like, and it does change and improve, and that was part of this. Like, Foghorn Leghorn was like a sexist racist.
hmm,
The chicken.
yeah,
Yosemite Sam, like the whole Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner is just beyond violent. Like
yeah.
Roadrunner purposely goes out his way to cause harm to
I
stupid
still
Wile E.
really like it. I'm
Coyote.
not gonna. I'm not
I
gonna
mean,
lie.
yeah.
Yeah,
And it's funny because I remember growing up, somebody saying that. I'm like, it's just a cartoon.
yeah.
Like, it's just supposed to be funny. But then, with an adult brain, I was like, okay, I could see the
Yeah,
point of the problems with it, but it is still funny.
it is still
And
funny. Yeah.
not the racism. That was never funny.
No, yeah, the racism is
But
not definitely never funny, but yeah,
no,
the other parts of it certainly are. And
yeah.
this one did a really nice job with kind of bringing these characters to life in a way that felt, you know, appropriate for the time for sure,
Yeah,
and
less problematic.
generally fine for a rewatch. There were certainly moments here and there, but
Yeah.
generally fine. We need to talk. And I know there are problematic areas in this next section, but we need to talk about the soundtrack of this movie because
Remember Jock
literally
Gems? Like
every
sports anthem
song
mixtapes?
was incredible.
Yeah,
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 right? It was a jock jam moment.
yeah.
I literally the second that the movie wrapped, I'm like, I need to buy the soundtrack for like can I
It
get
was a
this?
great soundtrack.
It's
Yeah.
so good. Every single song is that
And it even had its own theme
energy.
song,
Mm-hmm.
like its own Space Jam song. And I
The
forgot. I was like,
Space Jam
oh yeah,
song's so
movies
good.
used to do that
Yeah.
where if if a studio, I'm assuming, was expecting it to be bringing a lot of money, they
Yeah.
would put money behind getting an artist to do a song specifically for the movie.
Yep.
And that was super cool. I really like that. It was a cool intro, and I like how in the opening credits it's like starring Michael Jordan, Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
So
I did
stupid.
I did love the opening credits and how like absolutely ridiculous all of that is.
Yeah.
I did also read an article and I believe I dropped it into the sources if you're watching or listening later and you want to check it out. But they referenced they referenced Danny DeVito being in this, and they were like, and it introduced children to Danny DeVito, and then in brackets was like, as the villain. I'm like, yeah, it did, didn't it? It made everyone realize what a bad guy Danny DeVito is. Like, what a weird thing to say. I thought it was, yeah, but it was hilarious.
Oh, that's
Like,
funny.
yeah, it's
I
too
love
funny.
the little critters. So the little
They're
aliens,
so
like the little
cute.
minions,
Yeah.
they're so cute. They were really funny. They very much reminded me of a lot of Disney sort of sidekick characters or minion characters, like the Minions, or in Hercules, Hades' two little buddies, like
Yep.
his two little guys.
Absolutely.
It was very that kind of feel to them, and I really like the little stoner one. That was my
Yeah.
favorite.
Oh no. They have
cute.
their names, I can't remember all of them, and Paul will probably cite it because he's totally in the world of fact checking right now. But their names are also completely adorable and ridiculous. But yeah, I thought the same thing. It was great to be able to kind of, they were so silly that it felt less scary and intimidating when they became, gigantic and scary. And
Well,
then then they went back obviously to
yeah.
being silly again at the end. But
Well, that whole thing where they like absorb the basketball players' superpowers and like literally like morph into these
mhm.
demon looking things. It was very Fantasia. Like, you
Oh
remember
yeah.
the demon scene in
Oh
Fantasia?
yeah.
I was like, it was that level. Like, it could have gone that scary.
Fantasia is scarred on my brain. This is one we are never talking about, friends. This is just not happening. It's a very deep,
Actually, in
dark.
Fantasia, I found the demon devil, whatever it was, a lot less scarier than the
The
brooms.
brooms,
That
yeah.
I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's the
Mhm.
origin story of my like natural high level of anxiety. It's a stupid Fantasia broom scene. Poor Mickey.
Oh my gosh, yeah, the broom scene. Yeah, you're right. The aliens were really adorable, and I think
Yeah.
they did a really fun job. I'm laughing too because I don't know if you noticed this. We've been talking in the last couple of episodes. We keep ending up and referencing Mighty Ducks, and there was another Mighty Ducks moment in this movie. Did you catch it?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
absolutely amazing. Yeah, they and apparently one of the reasons why they made fun of Mighty Ducks, and they actually made a couple of different jokes and digs against
Yeah.
Disney, is that they were trying to work with Disney to include some Disney characters, I guess, in this movie. And they had a whole back and forth and things fell apart. So they were just like, well, take
Yeah.
that, Disney. You and your stupid
It's like,
movies.
who would name like what like national sports league at a professional level would name a team
What Mickey
Ducks?
Mouse operation would name it? Yeah, it was absolutely amazing.
It was really funny.
Well, there
And
we
I'm like,
go.
that happened in real life.
The Monstars Nerdlux. Oh, I didn't know they were called Nerdlux. Names
Yeah.
are Pound, Bang, Not, Bupkis, and Blanco. Aren't those great? I want little Wooble
Blanco
versions
was
of
the
them.
stoner one, which was
Yeah.
super hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. They're all
That's cute.
fantastic. None of
That's very tongue
There we go. Paul makes me feel better. None of their names were actually mentioned in the film, so it's not me losing my mind. It's just
No.
yeah, they're
I don't even know if they were mentioned as Nerdlux in the movie. I only saw that like looking up the cast. You know, like, oh, who did the voices?
yeah.
But yeah. And I also love the kids that played Michael Jordan's family.
Yeah.
They were so cute.
So cute.
And like when they see Bugs Bunny and Daffy going to get
all of Michael's
his
stuff, yeah.
yeah,
His
his
shoes and his
basketball kit,
basketball
you know,
kit,
like his
yeah.
shoes, his shorts, whatever. And the kids see them and they just totally are like, oh, dad's gonna go play basketball with you? Cool, cool. We won't tell anyone.
I know, but you like
What?
that's because they because everyone loves the Looney Tunes. So,
Yeah.
that's the connection. I did look up for a moment. I was like, oh, I wonder if these are his real kids, which they of course are not. But it is his.
I did the same thing.
But it is
No,
his,
they're actors.
It is his kids. They did use his real children's names in the movie, which I thought was sweet.
Yeah. And I didn't look up what his actual family looks like. 'Cause
I didn't
that's
either. Weirdly enough,
kind
I
of
was just like,
creepy.
oh, it's his, yeah.
like kind of creepy. But yeah, so I'm sure they're just as cute. And I forgot, I didn't really realize when I was a little kid that Michael Jordan's like super hot.
Yeah.
Like, I know he's a good looking man. Like, I remember that. But I'm like, there was one scene where he's just all abs and shirtless. And I was like, oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Like, yeah, you're a professional athlete. You did that. Good job. So belatedly to the game, thank you, Michael Jordan, for all of your abs.
I
Like,
love it. Well, Doc is saying, I don't know if you remember this at the time. I don't know if you remember this at the time this movie Disney Store were huge, and WB opened stores right before this. They had both in the mall here, and the fight was because of this. Yeah, yeah, maybe that's a good point. Disney
as a
stores
Canadian,
versus WB stores. We did, yeah, we had no connect.
we didn't
We
have
had no
that.
connection. We said we had no idea of the Disney Channel. We didn't have Disney stores. None of that was a thing here.
I remember when satellite came out, and that's when people started to have access to the Disney Channel.
I
And
never
like
had
we only heard
satellite.
about that, but that was rich. That was rich kid
Yeah.
things. Like I remember like the one rich kid at school talking about, oh yeah, the Disney Channel. And I'm like, what? Like, what? There's a whole channel? Like, what do they do? Just play the movies over and over again? And they're like, no, they have all their own shows. I'm like, what? So when Disney Plus came out during lockdown, let me tell you, I rewatched a whole bunch of shows that I've only ever heard of.
Yeah, Nat was reliving all of her
Yeah,
all
yeah,
of her
yeah.
lovely days. Well, so
Well, I mean,
Michael
I never saw
Jordan's
the show.
kids names are Marcus, Jeffrey, and Jasmine, and apparently Marcus plays basketball.
Oh,
Awesome.
that's so
Awesome. Very
cute.
cute. Very, very cute.
Very nice names. I like that.
I do love there's a couple fun facts coming through Paul, so thanks to Paul for keeping us informed. To keep Michael Jordan happy while filming, Warner Brothers built him an actual basketball court on set so he could use it whenever
Aw.
he was on break. Yeah, you can see
That's
it's
so
like
cute.
it's not a small, like you can see photos of it and it's like intense. Like it's a full out a full like full basketball court. And I guess
Well, I
he
mean, I
he
could see him
practiced
go stir crazy. 'Cause,
yeah,
like,
he
he's
practiced
by
2 hours
himself,
a
basically.
day. Exactly. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was I think a good thing. I do love we were joking earlier, but that Bill Murray, who's apparently
Right?
6'2", was basically like tiny in this movie compared to everyone else. But I do love that
He looked so short.
he looked so
Like, I mean,
short.
not Muggsy short,
Yeah.
but so Muggsy Bogues, I believe, still holds the record for the shortest NBA player
Good for
of all
him.
time.
Good for him.
And he
That's
was what,
awesome.
maybe 5'3", I want to say.
That's impressive.
Anyways, uh, one of the most impressive players. And for anybody who doesn't remember him, Katie included, go on YouTube, like Muggsy, like highlight reels. It's shocking. It's shocking how good he is. And that was one of my favorite things as a Charlotte fan when they got their superpowers back and he has the ball and he does all his like super cool like dribble stuff. I'm like, ah. Anyways, but that was me fangirling.
Now I have more NBA Jam quotes in my head. You're on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. We used to play that game all the time.
Yeah.
Again, ironic that you never liked or played
Never ever.
basketball.
My only lens of basketball is this movie and NBA
Sega.
Jam. That's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. This movie
Yeah.
is still apparently holds the record for the highest grossing basketball movie of all time, which it apparently took out White Men Can't Jump, which I don't know if I've ever seen that one. So maybe we should add that one to the list at some point.
I don't know that I have either, to be honest.
I
I'm
know,
like
maybe we have to watch movies we
basketball
haven't
movies. I've
seen.
seen Basketball Diaries.
I
Like,
know.
if
Yeah, I've
we
also
want to
seen
take a
Basketball
darker turn, we can add that to the list.
But appropriate Christmas movies. White Men Can't Jump and Basketball Diaries. We'll really dive into the holiday season. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spud Webb was 5'6". Thanks, Doc, for giving us some basketball facts. I'm glad that we have some actual basketball fans in the audience to help us make sure we don't totally humiliate
Used to be
ourselves.
basketball fan. Like I haven't really watched since that era of players. Like not religiously. Like obviously when the Toronto Raptors are in the finals or even the semifinals, like I'm gonna watch because like, you know, Canadian pride. But
Yeah.
like the only time that Canadians that aren't from Ontario are loving on Toronto has to do with the Raptors or the Blue Jays, and that's it. Not the hockey team. Nobody likes them. Which I feel bad because there's some amazing players on the teams. They have all the money, but nobody likes the Leafs ever. I don't know. It's weird.
You can't. I know. See, we should do Mighty Ducks because this is our sport. If we're gonna talk about sports movies, we're really missing it there.
Mind you, to be fair, I played basketball in elementary school and I was gonna say auditioned. That is not at all how that went. I
And I
did the
auditioned for
tryout.
the
I did the tryouts for the high school basketball team, but long story short, I didn't make it, but it was more for political reasons than it was for
Mm,
like high school politics.
you were
Whatever.
acting like a Monstar. Is that what's
No,
happening
no,
there?
no, 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 no. I wasn't in so gym in my high school because we had a very big high school was divided into boys and girls, but because we had so many students in our grade,
Hmm.
there ended up having to be some mixed classes, and I was always in the mixed class, but the girls basketball team was run by the gym teacher from one of the girls classes. And she's like, well, I don't really know you, so it doesn't matter how great your tryout is. Like, you're in the boys' gym class, so no. Like, it was
Oh,
literally just her being nasty.
not a
Like,
boy and not a girl, so
yeah,
not on the
yeah, I'm
team.
like, well, can I play for the boys' team? Shit. Which all then also got me into lacrosse because I'm like,
Mm,
well, at least in lacrosse you can fucking hit people.
true, true
Like,
story.
now I'm angry.
It's
Like,
hilarious how like Canadians are nice except when they're talking about sports, and then then it
yeah,
gets
yeah,
really
yeah.
ugly. Well, Josh is saying that he played basketball in elementary school too in
Nice.
a wheelchair, so he's like killing it. I
Oh,
love
that's
it.
badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, wheelchair basketball is incredible. I like watching that. I'm always just blown away. I mean, in
Yeah.
general, like any kind of sport, I'm already blown away by because I am the just not even kind of sporty. So I have
It's your weak
very
ankles,
yeah, I have
Katie.
very weak ankles. I'm not coordinated. It's not my
Yeah.
thing. I enjoy skiing. I'm not good at skiing, but I enjoy skiing. And I like mini putt. So there we go. It's skiing and mini putt are
I'm
my two
terrible
sports.
at mini putt.
Yeah, mini putt's one of the few things I can beat people at. So I hold on to
Oh yeah, constantly.
my
I
mini
go to
putt championship.
lose. Every
Yeah.
time Katie drags me on a mini putt, I'm like, you know, I'm just gonna lose. She's like,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, that's fine
you
because
can't
I'm gonna
take
win.
that from me. I lose at almost every other sport, so I need I need to hold on to that one. I'm in my mind, I'm really really good at golf because of how good I am at mini putt, but I know I'm not. But I'm not going to test it. I'm just
Yeah.
going to continue to believe in myself and
I would
know that I'm good
love,
at that.
well, I had never really much desire to learn how to golf, but then when I flew into Scotland
Mm,
and I saw the greens like from the plane, I was like, oh, it's actually magical. Like
yeah,
I need to learn
actual
how to play
golf.
golf.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, this is why golf was invented in Scotland. Like yeah, I'm all in. Except I have back problems, so clearly it's not really the best sport if you have upper back issues.
Probably not. But
No, 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 it's definitely not. But you know what? You know, I'll do some rehab. Maybe one day I'll learn how to
yeah.
golf.
There you go. I believe in it. I
Like
believe it.
Bill Murray.
Like Bill Murray, yeah. Yeah.
I need one of those fancy little tartan umbrella hats though.
We had two, speaking of like not inside jokes, but like funny callbacks, I guess. I'm not even quite sure the right terminology for it, but Bill Murray joke that he only got to play on the team with the Tunes,
The Looney
the
Tunes.
Looney Tunes, because he knew the producer and the producer of this movie, Ivan Reitman, so he would have definitely known the producer because they are friends. And then he also someone asked if Dan Aykroyd was in this movie, so there were like all
Yeah.
kinds of just again like if you
It's like,
were
why is Dan Aykroyd here? And it's Bill Murray. He's like,
yeah
oh.
if you were over a certain age and you were like mostly if you were an adult and you were keeping up with current news and watching all of the movies that were coming out at the time, a lot of this would have been hilarious to you and still is
Yeah,
hilarious
that
to
would have,
us thinking back like
yeah. It would
you
have
know
been a nod to Ghostbusters,
a
to
total nod to
SNL,
Ghostbusters. Yeah, so lots of those
yeah.
inside jokes all the way through. Well, we've come
Yeah.
to I think the time. Do we have anything else to say about this one? We're
I was
earlier
just
than
gonna say,
normal,
I'm
but
like, I have no idea what the point of Bill Murray being in this movie was,
I think it was
other
just
than
fun. I mean,
it
if Bill
was
Murray
fun.
wants to be in
Yeah.
your movie, let Bill Murray be in your movie is my
My
belief.
immediate thought now was so the legend of Bill Murray
Oh yeah.
as himself in
Yep.
real life
Yep.
is that he doesn't have an agent.
Nope.
Okay. So if you want him in your movie, you have to call his landline and
Hmm.
leave a message on his tape
Answering machine. Yep.
answering machine.
Yep.
Like it has an actual tape cassette
Yep.
answering machine.
Yep.
So
And he'll call
when I
you
saw, like,
back if
when
he
I was
wants to.
rewatching, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. He's like, if that sounds good. So you have to pitch him on, and when an answering machine with a
Mm.
tape cassette
Bill is a
is
massive basketball
very,
fan, though, which is a good point because
yes.
that was one fun fact I missed is his number on his hat. It was the team that he owns, I believe. Someone fact check me, but I think it was the team that he owns. And then his number was 22, which was a nod to Groundhog Day, which is one of my favorite movies. So it was that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Nat. That was my
It
moment
was
of
cute,
interrupting.
but I was just saying, like, it makes sense that somebody knew him and told him
Yeah.
about this, and that's basically why he was in it.
Yep.
Because, like, imagine trying to pitch this movie and you have very limited time on a tape cassette answering machine. Like, very limited. You have like 15 seconds to get it out because you're gonna run out of actual tape.
Yep.
Like, so imagine trying to pitch this movie on an answering machine
Well, maybe they didn't
in the
have to.
90s.
If he's a
Yeah.
diehard basketball fan and he owns a team, then maybe it was just like, hey, we're doing a movie with
Yeah.
Michael Jordan. Do you want to have a cameo in it? And he was probably like, sure. Why not?
Actually, as weird as the plot was, is probably 3/4 of what interested him in it. Like, he likes basketball, the Looney Tunes, it makes no sense. He was probably like, yeah, okay, I'm in.
Sure, why not? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, this is the time. If you're hanging out with us in our live studio audience, feel free to drop in your ratings for this one. You could rate in basketballs. You could rate in potatoes if you want your standard rating. I'm sure there's lasers, Martians. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, what else you could rate in
Anything
amusement
space.
parks.
Okay, so
Anything
rewatching
space.
this today
Mhm.
with everything that has happened in this world up until this point, I wonder, were they trying to soft launch that aliens are real when they made this movie?
They were soft launching
Were
lots
they?
of things. They were like,
I mean,
maybe
like,
Michael could be a basketball player again. Also, there might be aliens.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's funny because, so for context, if you have not heard, the US government for what, the third or fourth time, has like tried to hard launch that aliens are real.
Mhm.
Just last week, apparently they're living in the ocean. We've had contact with them for hundreds of years. Whatever.
Yep.
Nobody gives a shit. Nobody
No.
gives a shit, including the aliens, clearly.
No
Though
one
a
cares.
rumor that I heard today about aliens among us is, so green eyes, like mine,
Mhm.
are a genetic mutation. But now people have decided if you have green eyes, it's because you're part alien.
Oh, good. Well,
Yeah,
that
I
makes
have
sense.
some alien DNA, which I'm like, how shitty is the alien DNA that I have to have like a handful of autoimmune issues? Like,
You're like, that's
fuck
what's
that.
that's what's
Like,
causing
all
my
I got
issues.
was green eyes out of it. Thanks.
Oh my gosh. Well, there we go. The hat that Bill Murray is wearing at the Bulls game at the end of the movie is the St. Paul Saints, a minor league baseball team which Murray was a part owner at the time. Thank you, Paul.
Oh, cool.
And Doc is saying that Bill's son is actually a coach at UConn, which is awesome. And Paul is
Cool.
coming in with 3 aliens. Solid choice,
Yeah.
solid choice. 3 aliens. If you are listening or watching later and you want to be able to give your input and live fact check us and share all of your feelings and thoughts and your movie review, you can join us most Thursday nights on YouTube. We record all of our
Live.
episodes live. Yeah, because why not, right? Makes it way easier. So hopefully you can join us in the future. Jake is giving it. Okay, well, this is like somewhat cheating because there's more things. I'm going to go 4 because it's 4 basketballs and 4 aliens. We have 3 basketballs from Josh. We have 3 basketballs from George. We have an update. Okay, when I moved to LA from Florida, he was on both of your flights, Bill Murray. Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous. In first class,
Cool.
of course, and I got to speak to him. Me too. I love Bill Murray. I love the lore of Bill Murray. I love
Yeah.
how weird and like I don't give a damn about anything Bill Murray is. Like there's just something about usually I don't really want to know a lot about actors' personal lives because I feel like it makes me like not like them or like it skews my opinion of them typically in a negative way.
Yeah.
And with him, I want to know everything about him. And the fact that he's so withholding makes me want to know way more about him. So
Like, tell us more, Bill
Oh,
Murray.
you were not in first class, but you do have green eyes. Oh, I'm gonna call you out. My eyes are also a little bit green. Mine change colors, so I'm probably all kinds of messed
You're
up.
kind of in
Maybe
the hazel green.
I'm in a hazel
realm.
green space. Yeah. What are these? Are these cows?
Cows.
4 cows. All right, I dig it. 4 cows. Dan says 3 aliens. All right, Nat.
Well,
we're
the
at
consensus with me is also 3.
3. We were at
Yeah.
3. I kept in 4, I think probably just as a default from last week. So we were like
Yes.
2, 4, and we settled on 3. So
Yeah.
3, which is good for us because normally we rate like 5 for everything. So it's good that we did this
I mean,
one.
the movie wasn't the best.
Nope.
I enjoyed it because I liked seeing all the like old basketball like legends.
Yeah.
I really
The soundtrack was
enj-
fire. I'm gonna go
the
buy it. I'm
soundtrack
not even
was
joking.
fantastic.
Yeah.
There was a couple of cute lines, but there was basically no plot. Uh,
Doc is saying, "Oh, they're bulls." We're idiots.
oh,
They're not
like
cows. They're
Chicago
bulls.
Bulls.
They're
Yeah,
Chicago
I'm like,
bulls.
they're cows.
Obviously,
That
Doc,
makes no
I'm sorry.
sense.
Hello, Jordan.
stupid.
Doc is like, you guys are idiots. What's going on?
Yeah,
yeah.
like,
Yeah,
oh,
that's fine.
guess
We get
my
you.
blonde is coming back in.
Yeah,
No offense to blondes. That was a terrible joke. Wow, internalized misogyny, Natalie. Hello.
Ooh.
Thanks, patriarchy.
Ooh. Oh my gosh.
yeah.
It was probably an even distribution between 3
It
and
was,
4.
you know what? It was fun.
I'm with you. I'm right in between 3 and 4. It was fun. It held up for me way more than I thought it would. I don't think it had a plot, and I don't think it was like a good movie. But I was really impressed with Michael Jordan's acting. Given that he was like a sports superstar, I was definitely impressed with his acting, and I was impressed with
Like,
how
when
much
did he have time?
how much it held up. Like I was just like, oh, all right, like
When
this
did he have time to do this? You know
in
what I mean?
between
Like,
in between retiring and then deciding he wasn't
Yeah.
gonna retire. That was when he had
I had thought that
3.5 it is. There we go.
the other players were in the movie more, and in my memory, they went to go play with Michael Jordan in the Looney Tunes,
same.
and they did not.
I had maybe there's an extended cut that we just are not aware.
Or
I
it's
also
just
had a
Mandela
longer
effect,
version.
but like,
It's a Mandela effect, yeah.
yeah, and I'm like, I kind of wish like all the guys were, but I love the little cuts to them like in hospital and then talking to the psychiatrist
Yeah.
and like,
Yeah, they were fantastic.
Um,
Oh, I forgot to call out a really fun
yeah.
fact that I read. And in typical Katie fashion, I'm probably going to screw it up. So someone correct me. But there is a scene where they are right when the aliens are stealing the powers, the superpowers from the basketball players, and they're in like a trench coat and they're like getting ready. They're
So
watching.
creepy.
Oh, it was super creepy. But there's a couple that sits next to them, and the woman is whose name has just slipped my mind. Patricia Hearst.
Yeah, I think so.
Anyway,
Yeah,
so whatever, irrelevant to
yeah.
this point. But there's a woman, and then the man who's there with her. He's the
Yeah.
voice of Homer Simpson.
Oh.
Which you would never know because he's obviously not speaking as Homer Simpson. But I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's fun. Oh, a Simpsons
That is
moment.
fun.
Yeah, so I'm glad I last minute remembered because that was a fun moment. I was going to tell my son who's been watching all the Simpsons all the way through, so he will get a kick out of
Yeah.
it. Yeah, there we go. Patricia
the
Heaton.
Simpsons
Thank you,
love.
Josh. I'm not saying that she's not a
was
great
Patricia
actress.
something with
I just couldn't remember.
What
Patricia
wasn't she
Heaton.
in some
She's in
long-running sitcom?
Everyone Loves Raymond,
Okay.
which I never watched all the way through. So that, in my
No.
defense, that's why I didn't.
I might have only I recognized her, and it's funny because I recognized her less from the show, but more from like this 90s look, and I'd have to look up her IMDb page because I'm like, she's definitely in something where I
I'm
recognize
sure. I'm
her
sure she's in something
at
else.
that age
Yeah.
that she was in Space Jam. Like,
Yeah.
that age, that haircut. I'm like, other than this movie, anyways.
There,
And it's not
Dan
every version.
Castellaneta is
Yeah.
known for voicing characters on The Simpsons and most commonly Homer Simpson. I win. all the points
job.
for me.
Woo!
All the points. Look at I can do applause.
From downtown.
Yeah.
You're on fire.
We're ready. We're ready. More
And in
song
case people
clips.
think we're crazy, just again, like Google Sega Genesis Space Jam is like clips from the game, like all the taglines. It was great. It was so much
Come
fun.
on, this just in. You were an extra on a movie with Shaq? All right, well, you need to come on to an episode of the show with us so that you can talk about all of your awesomeness. That's incredible.
Shaq seems very cool.
Yeah, Shaq
I
does seem very
saw a
cool.
quote from him just the other day that says he's kind of miffed with, was it the B-52s, because he can't ever sign anything Love Shack
Oh no. Oh
because of the
no.
song The Love
Yeah.
Shack.
No, I get
So
it.
he
I get
feels
it.
super
I
awkward.
just feel sad about that. I'm like, no, wait a second.
I know, isn't that, it's kind of hilarious.
Oh, there
And
you
I'm like,
go.
I'm
Okay,
sure he
so
was joking. But...
Patricia Heaton was in Beethoven. Maybe you're thinking about Beethoven.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one, and rewatching that one was equally fun. It's again not a great movie, but a really fun kids movie. We need a different
Beethoven
kids
makes
movie
me think
rating.
Beethoven made me think of Mozart, which made me think of Amadeus, and I'm like, and that was a great movie from the 80s.
That is also a great movie from the 80s. I
I
immediately
love that
think of the
movie.
dog when I think of Beethoven, so that's how I
Beethoven.
grew up. I'm like, well, Beethoven equals dog, large dog. That's Beethoven.
Sometimes when I'm laughing, like if I get surprised by something or I'm laughing too hard, I still say, oh, my laugh went a little Amadeus because of the movie and the portrayal of Amadeus in the
Add that
movie.
one to the list. Yeah, that one should be on the
It should
list.
already be on the list, but yeah. Iconic.
Well, we can't do it next week because
Crazy
next
movie.
week we're doing Rudy. You all talked me into it. So now we're going to watch Rudy. And because next week is Thanksgiving here in the US, we're going to do our episode on Wednesday. So special day, same time. Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern on YouTube if you want to hang out in the live studio audience. Otherwise, listen on Thanksgiving if you want to. If you're looking to avoid some family or some drama, you can talk Rudy with us. I hope I'm gonna like it more than my mind is telling me. I don't even know why. I just don't want to watch it. But
It's
hey,
Sean
it'll be good.
Astin.
I know. I love him.
He's such a cutie patootie.
I have like some kind of trauma associated with this. I don't know what happened when I
I mean,
originally
it's
watched
not
it.
Beaches sad, for God's sakes. It's not our tracks. Like, dear God.
Maybe it's just that I'm in a phase like right now where I just want to watch like kids movies and slapstick comedies, and so I'm just like, oh, not a
Yeah.
drama. I don't want to watch a drama. I just want to watch kids movies and like
Not like
campy
Friday
action
Night
films.
Lights heavy.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god.
But no, it should be fun. It should be a good rewatch.
Well, we hope everyone
Fingers crossed.
joins us, and which we sent out by email. So if you're not on our email list, you need to jump over to our website and sign up so you don't miss it. But I've now forced Nat into sharing her stream of consciousness notes as blog posts, and I even made her add in memes and gifs, so it feels very, very Tumblr-y. So-
Yes. She was like, there's a lot of text. I'm like, it's a blog. And she's like, add pictures. I'm like Tumblr? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, cool. Because
Yeah.
that's technically, Tumblr was technically
Blogs
also
have
a type of
images.
blog.
I write blog posts. They have images and videos in them.
You know,
so
the last time I wrote a blog post was the 90s.
they're
So
back.
I've heard, apparently. Newsletters, blog posts.
Newsletters, blog posts, they're all back. So yeah.
And I'm
so,
assuming Tumblr's just still doing Tumblr.
Sure, yeah. Tumblr's probably still doing Tumblr. But yeah, definitely check it out. You can find it at the VHSclubpod.com. And you can also sign up for our emails there so that you know when we change over to our random Wednesday nights and who is coming up next. There, see, Josh says he's got pictures on his blog. So
I know, I was just I was like, I don't know what's happening. It is no longer the 90s.
it is no longer the
I'm old.
90s. Well,
This
we
one
did
will
it.
be a bit delayed for Space Jam because I've been a little under the weather and I fell asleep twice watching the movie. Not because it was bad, but just because of the fatigue.
Yeah.
So
That's all
I
right.
apologize.
That's all
It'll
right.
be up, I'll say, by the end of the weekend.
Sure.
And you
you have
guys can
time.
call me a liar next week.
It's gotta be up before Wednesday next week. So you have like so much time. It's gonna be great. We'll make you a chat bot and the chat bot can write the blog post for you. It'll be we'll
no,
train it
that's-
and it'll be really
No,
creepy. And then we can watch
no.
AI or one of those other creepy movies. We can really full circle it. I know, we're with you. All we want to watch right now is Hallmark Christmas movies. Absolutely, absolutely. Oh,
Oh,
Paul is making
can
fun
I
of me about QR codes, but I have a QR code. It's at the very end of.
It's
It's
at
in the
the end.
wrap.
Yes.
It's in the wrap,
Yes,
Paul. I'm doing it
it is.
correctly. I should
And
have it
can
at
I
the ready
just
though, and I
say,
don't.
if you guys have Netflix, watch Hot Frosty.
Mm.
It
It's not in our
is
era, but we
as
highly recommend
dumb
it.
as it sounds.
Yeah.
It is as dumb as it sounds. It is as bad as you think it is, but it is so funny. There
Oh.
were actual laugh out loud moments, and the thing is, it was made, yes, with what's her name, the Hallmark queen, Lacey from Mean Girls,
Couldn't tell you.
whatever, the brunette from Mean Girls.
Mhm.
She's adorable in it, and Ted from Schitt's Creek is in it, and he's Hot Frosty.
Anyone from Schitt's Creek is amazing.
I know. The movie is so stupid. It was so funny.
See,
And then
that's
the
the space I'm
closing
in,
credit
and you're
scene
making me watch Rudy.
was so funny.
Next
Anyway,
week
so
we're
if
gonna
you
watch
want,
Hot Frosty. That's what we're gonna do.
yeah,
instead.
you know what? Why not?
I'm gonna watch
We
Hot
can make up
Frosty,
the
and then
rules.
and then everyone else can watch Rudy and talk about it.
It was so dumb. So if you need to disconnect and not just rot your brain, but actually just shut it off for a minute, watch Hot Frosty.
Paul's
I
in.
give it 5
Paul's in.
stars.
Paul's
All
in.
the taters.
Jake is in. We're all just gonna switch over. Well, we should fit in. We should fit it in a random.
It was so
moment.
stupid. It was
I love
better
it.
than a Hallmark movie. And like Hallmark, I mean, yes, okay, granted they're finally moving over to their second plot because now it's just not like successful businesswoman goes back to her small
Gives
town
up
for the
everything.
holidays
Yeah.
and gives everything to go up to get back together with her unsupportive ex because her unsupportive family told her she shouldn't have a career in the city.
Oh, there we go. Lacey Chabert.
Chabert?
Chabert.
Lacey Chabert? I don't know. I like to put a
Oh,
little
wait, we
French
got it. We
twist
got
on
it. We're
'cause
at
she's
the end of the
kinda fancy.
episode, but we got it. We need to say welcome to Retro. We're so happy you're hanging out with us. Yay! Yay! We're so happy that you found us and hung out. You'll have to
I like
you'll have
your
to hit
little logo.
rewind on this episode. I know your logo is incredible.
Like a little
If you're
shark.
listening to this, it's a shark and it's a cartoon shark and it looks incredible.
It's wearing cool shades.
Mhm. Yeah. Sharks
Anyway,
with
so that
shades.
was my rant about holiday movies. Hot Frosty was great. It was so dumb in the
I
best
love
way.
it. I love it.
And we'll see you guys next week for
Yeah.
Thanksgiving and football. I feel like doing a football movie
I know you're right. You're
for
right.
American
we'll do Rudy.
Thanksgiving is correct. That
Plot
is the
twist. I'm
assignment.
gonna love it, and we're gonna have this
I
whole like
know.
conversation. I'm gonna feel stupid, but we're also gonna talk about Hot Frosty because I will watch that one in the interim as well.
Yeah.
So it'll
Yeah.
be like a double feature. we'll talk about Rudy and Hot Frosty.
After
It's
our
gonna be
potato
great.
rating for Rudy, we will talk Hot Frosty.
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
And Retro Tipperon is going to be like, wait a second, I'm in absolutely the wrong place. What is happening here? I'm all about VHS, and you guys are talking about really weird things. But yeah, it's part of the show. We're
You know what?
it's past
It's
10 o'clock.
random.
Anything's possible at this point. Once
a
we're
little
after the
punchy.
hour, it gets punchy. It gets
Yeah.
punchy. Yeah. Post pod watch. Hot Frosty will be our post pod watch. It'll be great.
Love
There
it.
we go. Chabert. Thank you.
There.
Oh, I know.
So that does sound French.
The little
Thank you, Cherie.
giants. I know. This is what happens every single time we do any of these
Little
episodes.
giants.
All I
Add it
wanted to
the
watch
list.
was yeah, we were like we're in a sports movie phase. So all I wanted to watch was little giants. I was thinking of Rookie of the Year, Angels on the Outfield. None of these are good, but well, some of these are good, but that one is not good. But I wanted to watch it. And then there was another one. Oh, well, I looked up
Yeah, but
White Men Don't
Rudy's
Jump, which
good.
I hadn't seen. No, I was just talking about like ones I wanted to see after I watched this one. I was
Oh,
just
yeah.
like, it always makes me think of other movies I want to watch.
Yeah, it's that
Groundhog
neurospicy
Day. But I'm going to save
train of
Groundhog Day
thought.
for actual Groundhog Day. So get ready. Get ready.
Oh, is that what we're doing next Groundhog Day?
Groundhog
What
Day,
if
we're gonna watch get this. And this
What
is
if
like
the little guy doesn't see his shadow?
well, this is a super special moment. I haven't even told this to Nat yet. I made a friend. I made an
Okay.
awesome friend through work who lives in the town where Groundhog Day is from and where the movie was filmed. And so he said he would do an episode with us where he would come to us live from Groundhog Day land and we would do a Groundhog Day episode. So I'm really on board for this as an idea. I don't know how it'll
I hope
work,
it's a
but
good rewatch. I have a weird suspicion that it might not still hold up the same,
I don't
and I don't know why.
don't ruin my moment. I'm really excited about this.
I'm
If
very
it doesn't-
excited.
if
We
it
used to
doesn't
watch
hold
it all
up.
the time when we were kids.
I watched that one a
We used to
lot.
watch it all the time.
I did a whole college class on it. It was like a film. It was a film studies class that was about religion in film, and weirdly, that one actually has a lot of strong religious undertones. So
Yes?
it does. We'll talk about it when we get into. You have to wait till February to find out the.
Is it culty?
It's,
Like-
no, it's not culty. It's not culty.
Okay.
No, it's fine.
Oh, I
It's,
meant like
it's
the
great.
religion.
Now I
bit,
got to
you
remember
know?
all of it. I think it's.
Oh
No,
my.
I don't want to say.
can't
I
wait
want to say
hear all
Buddhist,
about
but that's
this.
probably wrong. I'll have to pull back my notes. from
Okay, okay.
My uni notes. I know we love Keanu Reeves. We should do any football movie with Keanu. What about the Keanu baseball
Yes.
movie? I know we should just do Keanu sports movies. That should be our next series.
We should do the
man.
surfing one.
Puxatony, PA. That's it. Kathy's here. My brain is done at this point of the night.
I
They
love
should-
how you looked at that written on the screen and was like, this is how you pronounce it.
Well, I've seen
What?
Groundhog Day a lot, as we
That's
just
true.
mentioned.
I
Yeah.
don't remember.
Yeah. No.
Puxa-
Oh, it's so good.
How do you say that?
Puxatony, somewhere in there.
There's not even a T in it.
Yeah.
And an X in English makes a Z sound.
No, there is.
Oh, there
it's
is.
hard
Oh,
to
okay.
spell. No, I don't think anyone's spelling it correctly. So I'm just going off memory.
Okay. Okay, cool. Well, I love that. I mean,
It's a plan. It's a plan, friends. We're gonna do a month
been
of
to the
Keanu.
UK.
We're gonna do a live from Puxatony, Pennsylvania, which is a mouthful. We're gonna make Doc dress up like a groundhog. It's gonna be fantastic. The whole thing is gonna be amazing. Get ready. Get ready. Oh, Val's here. Val's excited for Keanu. This episode has gone. It's gone crazy. So if you're still hanging out and
doesn't-
listening, we're sorry.
let's be honest. Who doesn't love Keanu? And if you don't, you're in the wrong place.
You're in the wrong place. This show's not for you. If you don't like
You're in
Keanu,
the wrong
this show
timeline if
is
you don't
not
like
for you.
Keanu.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed.
Love
All
him.
right. I'm going to be
Yeah.
the bad guy and pull the plug on this episode. We did it. Space Jam. Oh, no, one final thing we should say, because it still blows our mind. If you're not yet, you should follow us on Instagram, and then you should go back in time to August when
Yeah.
Nat randomly shared a clip from this movie, and it was like a repost from someone else's channel.
Yeah.
And it has 2 million views on it. So we
Views.
had a viral moment because of this movie. So thank you, Space
Viral
Jam.
adjacent? I
Vi-
don't.
viral
Well,
adjacent.
thank you, Newman.
Thank you, Newman. Thank you, Space Jam. Thank you, Michael Jordan. Thank you, other person's account that we shared stuff from. It
Which
was a weird
they
moment.
are in
Yeah.
the repost.
We
They're
did a
credited, so,
correct
yeah.
repost, but still
Yay.
crazy. Anyway, all right,
Love
now
that.
now for reals now. For reals now we are done. And we will see you all Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And we'll catch you in the next episode. Bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Kitty and Nat